Hey, welcome back, guys. So, I recently received a comment that resonated with me halfway through. This is from brother Jamone Cochran, and I hope I'm pronouncing your name correctly, fam. He stated, not even gonna cap, a little upset that they leaning towards a little romantic side with Kato, creating some internal conflict in the group. I thought only Power did that. To this assertion, I'll just say this. All stories engage in that practice. Internal conflict, or conflict in general, is what makes for compelling narratives. Power surely wasn't the first one to invent such a dynamic, and certainly won't be the last. But the next part is what really got my mind going. He continued, besides all that, Meech's best friend definitely popped Terry. Literally too many signs point to it. The best friend in question here is none other than B-Mickie, portrayed by Miles Truitt. Now at first, I'm reading this like, get the fuck out of here. There's just no way. To my knowledge, Terry's shooter has remained unknown, and its inclusion here serves as the bridge to his subsequent optical malpractice and settlement. That settlement is an integral part of the BMF narrative, because from that, Terry would start a sedan service which heavily factored into the forthcoming BMF drug operation, for those familiar with the true history. But then I got to thinking, before each episode, there's a disclaimer that forewarns the audience that this story is, quote, loosely based on truth, and certain aspects have been fictionalized for dramatic effect. With that foundation in mind, could B-Mickie possibly be Terry's shooter in this BMF reimagining? In today's video, we'll be exploring that possibility in full and analyze just what mixed motives would be in such an overwhelming betrayal. Before we begin, be sure to hit the like button, subscribe, and bell notification to immediately receive these videos. Also, big thank you to all of my channel donors. If you'd like to be the next one, drop $1 on that Cash App for us. And lastly, a spoiler alert is now in effect for all things BMF. Here we go. B-Mickie is Meech's right-hand man and de facto enforcer, only second to Terry in the 50 Boys' chain of command. This relationship to the Flannery brothers differs from everyone else in the crew, as he's allowed to contribute and counsel various decisions that affect the collective's business structure and daily ongoings. That unique position has simultaneously placed him at the center of the Flannery's many disputes and rivalries, which is the first motivation for an ambitious upstart looking to move up in the ranks. Bearing witness to Meech and T's squabbling just might have inspired Mickie in the worst way. As we know, at the conclusion of episode 1, T is shot in the face. This took him out of position temporarily as he recovered, a position filled by who? None other than B-Mickie. In fact, when Kato gave props to Terry during the initial Stash House flip, Mickie inserted himself into the leadership lexicon. Me, Meech, and Terry know what we're doing, is how he put it. Notice that he placed himself even above Meech, who's been the spiritual captain of their drug-dealing congregation. At Kato's urging, via Lamar's manipulation, B-Mickie revealed to Meech that J-Mo was the likely culprit behind T's shooting, something that T himself found to be far-fetched, further implicating Lamar. Lamar would make the most sense in this BMF retelling. His drug business was thwarted by imprisonment, as was his reach to Monique, his lover and mother to his stepdaughter that found her cheeks in the presence of a younger player. However, Mickey's latter, and perhaps most outrageous maneuver, further implicated his potential involvement. B-Mickie pleaded with Meech to take the shot at J-Mo due to his crew's weakening position. And when the 50 Boys boss relented on pulling that trigger in the moment, Mickie pulled it for him. This caused an irreparable rift between the old friends, but it also did something else. If indeed Mickie did shoot T as a play for the 50 Boys throne, then discarding J-Mo would accomplish two things. For one, it would cover Mick's tracks as the true culprit behind the attempted murder. And secondly, it would place Meech and the crew in the midst of a war that B-Mickie could capitalize off of. With Meech potentially out of the way, Mickie would be the new general of the 50 Boys army, even if that army was in shambles. His behavior since all of this chaos has been revealing as well. He's been more defiant, more rebellious, and more distant. Having caught a body, it places him over Meech in the fearless department. Meech hasn't taken a life, and his resentment towards his disgruntled right hand has resulted in a heavier one when dealing with him. Mick has felt the brunt of Meech's wrath ever so subtly and even overtly, and there's only so much one man can take. Manhood actually factors into Mickey's potential betrayal in a major way. You see, the nature of man in his truest form detests adherence to authority. A man's got to march to the beat of his own drum, to chart out the course of his own life as he sees fit, and be willing to live with the consequences of such navigations. Having to yes sir one time too many could inspire resentment on its own, and the harder Meech goes on Mick, the more cemented that animosity becomes. You can see it all over Mickey's face as the season progresses, and now that he's romantically involved with the literal enemy, he's on course to become either a king of the game or a casualty of it. But what are your thoughts? B-Mick, though stubborn in his approach, has echoed loyalty overall, even in the midst of perpetual berating by Meech. A loyal soldier doesn't mandate a perfect one, and their imperfections are often the things that make them useful pieces on life's chessboard. Think Tommy's position to Ghost as an example. He was far from a perfect number 2, but a major reason why Ghost was able to do dirt in the streets and dip into the business world simultaneously. In either case, be sure to drop me your opinions in the comments below. As always, I thank you for watching today's video. If you liked today's video, go ahead and drop $1 on that Cash App for us, hit the like button, share it with your friends who are fans of BMF, and subscribe for more content such as this. This is Rudy P. Magic of Rudy P. Magic Beats, and have a blessed one until the next one. Peace, y'all.